This is the most comprehensive training out there on how to sign clients on LinkedIn and how to add an extra 10 to 30K per month to your business. After running one of the best LinkedIn lead generation agencies on the market for the last 4 years, I'm going to be sharing all my tips and secrets in this free training. LinkedIn is actually a gold mine right now because every business is running meta ads and the ad costs are absolutely skyrocketing. So if you're still struggling to sign clients on LinkedIn and sending out hundreds of manual messages, loads of connections and getting no replies, then you're doing it all wrong. I've worked with over 100 plus clients on my LinkedIn system and they have all added new clients every single month and even signed $1 million deals just from sending out one LinkedIn DM. So in this free training, I'm going to cover absolutely everything you need to set up your LinkedIn the right way and how to actually start signing clients. So let's dive in. So here are the 3 components of the client engine. Every time I have a call with the business owner, it always seems like a much deeper rooted problem in terms of their business and their offer and positioning. So the most important thing to begin with is your offer, is your positioning. Can a 6-year-old understand this if I explain it to them clearly? Like lead generation likes one clear offer, one clear target market, and one clear outcome. That should be it, whether you're running meta ads, whether you're doing an email campaign, or whether you're running a LinkedIn campaign. There's too much components that make things confusing. It has to be simple. I love simplicity in business. So in terms of the offer and positioning, what painful problem are you solving in the market and how are you specifically doing that? This is why I came up with the 3-step message solution, is because you send a connection, they might not reply. You send message 1. Message 1 is just, there's too much to fit into one message in order to explain everything. Message 2 is then going down your offer a little bit deeper, kind of unraveling a little bit more pain points. And then message 3 is the CTA, which I will show you and we'll go over. So when it comes to the offer and positioning, this is just classic good copywriting, invoking curiosity, sending a little bit of value and making it personalized, which we can do with the system. And then the second is defining your ICP or your target market. Like, who is it I'm looking to help? If you were to draw an avatar, whether it be male or female, what industry, CEO, white collar, blue collar, age, income, all those things. And we can do this with Sales Navigator, which is LinkedIn's database, which I think is one of the cleanest databases on the planet anyway, because everyone uploads their mobile and number and great for lead pulling, etc. But this is how we can create lists. So let's just say we're going after finance mortgage brokers at the moment, you know, just to make it easy, so they can kind of fall under real estate and financial services, real estate, and we just hit in job title, mortgage broker. There you go. Now, this will just pull up obviously a list in Australia. The geography you can kind of max out to many different countries, but it gives us 6,000. Now, if we're allowed 1,100 to 1,200 messages a month on LinkedIn, we want to create these lists to about 2,000 maximum, if not obviously 1,500 to 1,200. So I can open up these filters and I can get a little bit more detailed with it. So company headcount, we can start kind of getting rid of the people that are like large companies, you know, or you want to go for more smaller, 10 for 50, you know, up to 50. What does that bring me? And each time it's like I'm casting a really wide net. I'm starting wide. It's like geography, then it's industry, and then it's like company, and then it's like job title, director, so on and so on. Then that's how we do it. So 2.5, there you go. Now to put that even clearer, I obviously want to talk to the decision makers. So seniority level, I want director, owner, maybe CXO. Managers and stuff you don't really want. Senior, that's a very widespread word anyway, and obviously in training, so there's only so many filters that we can choose. So it's 169, so we've gone too little. So I just want to take this out again, and then I would be going after companies that have a small headcount. Great. Now there's a really cool, interesting button here if you were looking to get hot lists, meaning that if you weren't getting a lot of replies on LinkedIn, but this is people that have posted on LinkedIn recently. So that means they're on their phones, they're hot, as in like they're going to be replying. I can click this button and then I would have a hot list of 300 people that I could just go after straight away that I know I'm going to get more replies compared to the other 2,000 that I just had. So there's a lot of cool things in here you can go into, years of experience, and this is how we create our lists. So we have our ICP, we have our target market, we can copy and paste this URL and we can put it into the system, and there's our target clientele. So coming back to the messaging, and I'm going to show you how we set it up and the sequencing and the timing, but this is why I created this digital PDF, which is the 3-step LinkedIn messaging sequence that signed me 100 plus clients, because I can't even keep count of the amount of clients I've signed on LinkedIn over the last 4 years using sequences like this or just a system. So this is tried and tested over as I said, 100 plus clients, different campaigns, different industries, and there's a psychological cue that's happening on each step that I explained a little bit earlier, but I'll go into deeper detail now about it all. When we load up our messaging and sequence into the system, this is how it looks, which is we are getting the messages ready. So the first connection message is, I'm going to pull their first name, obviously, to make it more personalized. Now, depending on the campaign, I want to say something simple like, based on your background, I'd love to connect, or hey, first name, and then that's it. Reason being is that they have to connect in order to go through the messaging sequence. So if it's something like, hey, saw you did this and I've got something I want to show you away, like that just might bring their sales guard up and they might not even connect, and you won't even get to go through the 3-step messaging. So just keep that in mind, and we can keep that maybe as plain as possible. I'd love to have nothing in there, but LinkedIn doesn't allow it. So what we do is send 15 minutes later, so it's a little bit more kind of natural, we send that first message. Now, this is something I've set up for my LinkedIn system. I'm going after brokers or coaches in the USA, just to show you kind of example. Now, these are what's called spin tags, which are really interesting things. So you can put into the brackets hello-hi-howdy. It will randomly choose one each time. So then it looks like the personalization is getting through the spam filters, all that type of thing anyway. So you can create spin tags like hey, and even on the thank you side, thank you, thanks, etc. First name as always. So out of curiosity, so the first one, it's like, I want to ask it's like a hook. It's like a PAS. It's like a problem, agitate, solution. You know, it's the same thing with copywriting or how people do ads as well. So it's like a hook. What's the pain? How can I really get to twist the knife in the first few lines? And that's what we're doing here. So I've put my VSL in video here because each message I want to be like, this is what I do if you want to kind of check it out. Again, I'm not waiting for permission to send something because, you know, you'd be waiting forever. It's like, can I send you this? It's back and forth. Like, nope, here's the link. And you'll find like the curiosity in terms of like showing them the door. Most people will want to have a look and kind of walk through it themselves. So what I've done there is the first message. And then this is another psychological cue. Now, Legacy Words is my company, I'm the owner, but I've signed it off like that. Why? They go, imagine I said 𝗹𝗵𝗁 employee, you know, it's not the same effect. Owner, director of your own company. Oh, like this guy's reaching out to me, like I'm more inclined to reply. So you see that psychological cue. And I'm not making, again, message one, it's like I don't want to sell everything on message one and I don't want to scare them away, but I do want to twist the knife a little bit, in which I call it. So then 23 minutes later, just a random time, I'm sending a voice note. Voice notes, video notes, these are the most personalized things you can do in terms of outreach and get the most reply. Now, not many people realize it, but I'm mass sending out the same voice note. You know, I'm saying something quite general. I wish I could play it and you could hear it through the system, but it won't work. So they're thinking, oh, he's just messaged me and sent me a voice note. More inclined to reply. So that's something I love within our system that we're able to do now. That's only happened in the last 30 to 60 days on LinkedIn anyway. So 2 days later, we go into a testimonial message. First of all, I just want to share my results. And then, you know, we've got people 15 book calls a week. We've signed $1 million deals. Amazing. What the system does. And then here's my calendar. Now, this is something I'm trying new, which is I'm actually just putting my calendar in there. I'm putting the link in there, right? Just book a call. It's, again, I'm not waiting for permission. We find a little bit of probably say 10 to 15% increased booking rate when we just put the calendar in there. Again, people get curious and want to open it up, and it's just a simple calendar link. Great. Then it goes onto their profile 2 hours later and likes a post on their profile. Again, personal touch points, but this is all automated. This is as soon as they are getting outreach to, they go through this like step of just personalization and touch points. And then the final day, so from, you know, the day from starting, this is not like day after day. We have a 2-day wait in between from the voice note. So it's like a day off, then a 2-day note. And then we have a day after that is the final one. So there's just stuff happening in between. Now, the third one, again, I've changed my approach a little bit, but it's all kind of the same in terms of the psychological approach. But I've actually started to send a offer doc where you open that up. It's a document with going through the offer a little bit fully. So I put my calendar in the second one. You can put the calendar in the third one as well. It works very well. 99% of the time I'm putting the calendar in the third one. But again, I'm working with something different here. It's something I've created, which is a new agency model. And again, I'm signing off with director. I don't do it in every one. I just a little dash nail there. But the first and third message, a little bit of a sign off, works very well. The last one we can set up, like we can touch points here, which is follow them, send a voice note, endorse them. Now, endorse I really like. Just to show you what that is that if you don't know what endorses is, if you come down to the bottom of your skills, well, people can click here and press endorse. But the great thing about an endorsement, as soon as someone does it, most people have a auto reply that will say, hey, thanks for endorsing me. And then you go, no worries. And then that starts the conversation. They see all the rest of the messages. So that's a little trick I use there. So as you can see there, then I've gone through the 3-step message sequence with a kind of voice note in between, a like and endorse. These are all natural touch points to really garner a conversation or a reply. If you've done any outreach before, you'll know 90% of people aren't going to reply after message 1. And then this is the whole reason I'm going over is because most people don't want to sit and send those manual messages. Most people don't have Excel sheets tracking how many messages they sent that day and so on and so on. So this is done for you. It's done all the heavy lifting. No way would I go and do loads of manual outreach now. I used to do 500 cold calls a day. I used to send 50 DMs, all this stuff, which does work, but it's a lot of effort. And you're only talking to the ones at the end of it that are interested anyway. So an example, a testimonial from a client that we set this up for, that if you do all these things really right, this is from Werner, whose email, I screenshotted because it made me laugh. He said, yeah, man, fuck, it's been good. Can't keep up with all the referral meetings flowing out of this. It's been a busy week, 7 referral meetings, and I had to appoint 2 new staff. You reaching out to me was a very good thing. So now we get to step 2, which is the automated outreach and human appointment setters and why it works so well. And the reason we need a human touch rather than AI. So we've loaded up our messages. I've showed you all how to do that, the 3-step message and why it works and how to space it, evenly so it looks quite human and why it will get results. So in terms of, let's have a look at the messaging system. So once we've loaded in the message sequence, it's on automation, it's sending out the messages. What we're going to see is a load of boxes from leads and different times, where they work, location, Sydney, etc. And this is where we pull all the data over the last 3 to 4 years. So seeing the 3-step message sequence live in a client's campaign is to show you exactly why it works and what I mean. So it sent that connection message, which was just based on your background, I love to connect, waited about 30 minutes, and then there was no reply, so it sent the first one. 2 days later, there was no reply, and it sent a bit of a testimonial message, which I wrote out. Now, I promise you, 99% of business owners would have stopped here, but there would have been, I've sent them 2 messages now, it's too many, I don't want to annoy them. But anyway, system carried on. It sent the 3rd and final one. And then it said, look what happens after 2 days later. The lead comes back. Hey, that sounds good. Let me schedule a discovery call, discuss further. Box has gone orange down here, as you can see. And I've jumped in and I've typed, sounds good. Just as I can type anything. This is the human touch. Just this link here. That's not AI or ChatGPT. And then I sent the link and we marked that as a book call, So on this page, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 book calls, all with the calendar being sent. And here's another one. So this is the point I'm making, is that it's like a thermometer outreach in 2026. It's like cold or hot. It's either not interested or yes, send your calendar. Let's do it. Like there's really no in between anymore. People's patience has gone from that to probably that now. So this is why we can see that it works. It's live with campaigns. So in this inbox, we'll have human appointment setters trained up on the offer for the client, replying to messages 7 days a week, even weekends, 12 hours a day, because you can't just stop at the weekends on Saturdays and Sundays if someone replies. It's speed to lead. You need to get your calendar to them straight away. And again, I go back on, this is the goal, is that the message is creating the opportunity. The CTA is simply to get them on a call. It's like if you run a Facebook ad, like fill out the form, let's go on a call, etc., etc. Same with email. Do you want to jump on a call? So look, 99% of businesses do that way. You might have a different SOP or standard or sales practice you do in your own business, but that's generally what we're trying to do with the LinkedIn system. So now we come to the 3rd and final part, which is booking a call. Now, believe it or not, most people's calendars aren't set up the right way, and they make it too complicated with links and videos and go here and click that. Like, it just needs to be one simple link to book a call, but it needs to land on your times. So when I send people my link, it lands on this screen. Preferably you want to use something professional like Calendly or Zoom or whatever you're using, but it has my available times, my dates, and the times you can book a call. You literally simply click on here, you go on next, and then you fill out your information, your name, your phone number, your revenue, your price point. If you're the decision maker, if you're going to have a business partner, your number, and book a call. I want the most least friction as possible for them to actually get on a call with me and to try and get some information from them. And this is where most agencies or lead gen goes wrong, because they'll generate all the leads and throw them to the client to kind of go, you deal with that now, and so on. But we are in charge until we send them the calendar to get them on a call with you. So again, you just give us your Calendly link. We kind of take everything. We send them the link, and most people just fill it in themselves, which they need to do. In terms of operating a calendar through why I really like Calendly is I can change my available times. And more important is the follow-up and the scheduling. Now you can see my scheduling in Calendly is pretty full on, but for someone that does 3 to 5 sales calls a day for the last 2 years, most people want any excuse not to show up to a sales call. So as you can see, as soon as they fill it in, they get an email, and then the email reminders and SMSs, this is where it's important. 24 hours before, 3 hours before, and then 30 minutes before the event. I'm telling you now, 99% of business owners do not have this set up because they get no shows. They'll send one calendar link and then that'll be it and forget about it and wonder why no one's showing up to their call. They get an hour SMS before as well. And then I have a couple of different private workflows where, 24 hours later, they'll get a bit of an origin story. They'll get a testimonial email, 48 hours, and then a text as soon as they've booked the call. These are all kind of there. So they're going through this, again, flow of messaging. This is just, again, good lead generation marketing, follow-ups, good copywriting, storytelling, that type of thing. So this is what you want to create. I just personally like Calendly. It's very basic. It's like $10 a month to use for most businesses, and it's super easy to run. So now we have the 3 components complete of the client engine, and why you can see each step is super important, goes very into detail of the LinkedIn system and why each step you need to do in order to book a call. So this is why we give full support from the offer building to the sales systems at the back end to actually getting them on a call with you. We even kind of have closing PDFs and stuff like that to help you close the call as well for your teams, because I go in and train sales teams as a consultant as well. So who have we worked with? Who have we helped with this system? Going on to client testimonials, we've had 100 plus clients in the last 4 years. So we have had a widespread across in terms of niches, like tradies, SaaS companies, marketing agencies, coaches. I mean, the list goes on, finance brokers. But with that, gave us a great insight in terms of what really works across LinkedIn and all types of niches, what types of messaging works, times, scheduling, follow-ups, everything. So this is why we've had a lot of success. So just to go through some, we have Werner, who owns Financial Purpose. His email was funny, so I screenshotted it. He said, yeah, man, fuck, it's been good. Can't keep up all the referral meetings flowing after this. Had to appoint 2 new staff, and you reaching out to me was a good thing. We have Dylan from Oakwood Finance, probably one of the biggest real estate companies in Australia. We helped them close 2 very large $1 million commercial real estate deals, which is amazing. We have lawyers, coaches, we have marketing agencies. Another couple of screenshots down here is something I shared on my story. Was we helped a security company sign a $1 million deal. So it was 1 DM, 1 sales call like we preach. They closed them, and that deal was generated from the LinkedIn messaging. So this is what I keep saying. It's better to start your outreach and put your foot in their inbox first and start a conversation rather than waiting for them to come to you. Another one of our coaches had an 11K day from just starting again a conversation, gave them on a call. Super simple. So how do we deliver this system, and what are the next steps if you want to get onboarded? So we have a very simple process. I believe in simplicity in business. We have 1 simple onboarding form that tells us about your website, your booking link, and complete into your offer and your target clientele. Very simple boxes to fill out. After that, myself and my team of copywriters and professionals will go off and write all your 3-step scripts, tell you what to do for a voice note, as that's going after message 1. We'll create and pull all your target lists from the Sales Navigator like I showed you before. We'll send it over to you for review. Once you're happy, we make any changes that need to be adjusted. We log you into the system and we press go. That is it. After the onboarding form is completed and the scripts and lists are agreed upon, we do an onboarding call where we log you into the system and press go on your campaign. You then receive weekly Loom videos where I share my screen, go over the campaign, what's working, what needs to be changed, that type of thing. So it's full support. Full support from the LinkedIn system from start to finish, A to B, until that lead is on a call with you. And this is the great thing about LinkedIn outreach and messaging and voice notes and connection requests and that type of thing. You can change it along the way if we need to go after a new target market after 30, 60, 90 days, or we need to change the messaging a bit. If you have a new offer you need to bring in, that's the thing. It's not like Meta ads where if you were doing a brand new offer, you'd have to do an entire new campaign with loads of videos and photos. So what makes this different from every other system that you may have seen online or other tools and methods is that you're buying the expertise from a team that's done it with, like I said, 100 plus clients, different niches, knows what works. You might as well go with professionals that know what they're doing to guide you. I've always had mentors in my life that has always took me to the next level. Same thing with this lead gen, whether it's the scripts, how to set up your LinkedIn, all that sort of stuff is covered. So we get to the desired result quicker. The great thing about our system is that we do have a guarantee is that if you don't sign any new clients within 60 days, measurable income, then you get the system for free until you do. So that way you will definitely be in an ROI. So say it takes 90 days, 120 days, whatever it takes, you will have the system for free until you have those clients in the bank. And that's taking away all the risk. That's what separates us from the rest. So who is this system for? This is for B2B businesses where their clients are actually on LinkedIn and you can message them. Coaches, SaaS companies, marketing agencies, brokers, and everything else in between. Or if you're just a time poor founder or business owner in general and you want all the lead gen taken care of for you and you just show up to one book calls. Maybe you've been burned by agencies in the past and you still haven't got any results, then this is perfect because we take away all the risk. If anything in the last 60 minutes has made sense to you and you're thinking this is perfect, then book a call with the link below. We'll jump on an onboarding call, map out your business and your campaign, get positioned on your offer exactly, and then I'll tell you the next steps. If it's not a right fit, I'll tell you that on the call as well. I had 2 failed businesses and I made so many mistakes in between and it took me years, and you don't have to go through that process because we figured it out all for you. So book a call with the link below and I will see you on there.